I was immediately hooked because I remember playing a game called Firewatch, and that played with the main character being a first-person kind of game who was looking after one of these towers, and then he had to figure out some puzzles. And I think this isn't the original asset, but it's certainly very much inspired by that game, because I mean, down to the color of the typewriter type thing. And it was a beautiful game, and it was somebody taking a summer job, essentially, watching over the wildlife in that area in America. I forgot where that was, but you know, fires are frequently breaking out in these areas, so that's why they have these towers there. And the job is that you have to be there and make sure, you know, if you do find a fire, make sure to call the authorities and put it out, essentially. And so the whole area really reminded me of that, and I thought, hey, that's cool. So I bought that, and I have tried to run it, but of course I wasn't very successful. So let's have a look at that again. It's also available, the same artist, QuadArt. They also have that available just as the tower, standalone tower. That's this one here. But the tower with the props currently on sale, $55.99, usually $80. What I did earlier is I created a third-person project so that we can walk around, and then added this to it, but that didn't work. So some file conflicts were happening, so I'm going to go and make it so that it's a blank project that doesn't have any files. And then we'll see if we can get the content in there. This is our empty project, nothing's on there. That's awesome. Now we're going to go and add our assets to it. So this is now going to be the lookout tower, add to project. I love it. And we're going to say this was lookout demo 2 because number 1 didn't work. So add to project. And now if the assets weren't downloaded already, it'll go and download that and then add it to your project. Mine were already downloaded, so it's just copying it from that kind of temporary library location into my project. This is all our stuff now. First person level prototyping. This might not be what we need. Lookout tower. Yeah. And we have the fly. This looks like a sequence that we have here already. We don't want to do that. We're going to go into maps and we'll have a look at the overview map. This is another bit of a surprise with assets, so I'll see how that's going to go down. Usually when you load assets in for the first time, you can literally, depends on the size of the project, but you might be literally stuck there for 20 minutes, an hour sometimes on first load. And that's perfectly normal. On a scene like this, I'd say maybe 5 minutes we may have to wait, but something like the rural Australia or the city park scene, those sometimes you just literally have to wait for an hour for this thing to load in. So Unreal Engine hasn't crashed at that point, but you just have to, you know, hang in there. So this is the demo level here, the demonstration level, in which you see all the assets laid out so that you can have a look at them, but it's not a demo scene. So I would imagine that is also included, and that includes the whole kind of the woods and everything. So these types of scenes, they're meant to give you an overview of what the project has, and then you say, oh, this is nice, I've got a generator here and I've got a barrel and stuff, and you know. Oh, important, demo level will not work if you don't enable water plugin. Go to edit plugins, type water and restart the project. Hey, let's go do that. Thank you, developer. Super nice. I think I read about this. The water plugin, that's the one. Water. We do have water extras as well. Experimental version. Epic does not recommend you actually using it, but that's cool. Let's go use it anyway. Samples, test maps, developers. Let's go all out. Let's use both. You must restart Unreal Editor for the changes to take effect. That's cool. Let's go do that. Also, what is the actual demo map then? That's first person. Could be the test. If that's overview, this could be the test map. Let's go do that. Let me go and close it. And then launch it again, so we have that water plugin enabled. So I was thinking about this project that it could be a good starting point for animations, for the holding loop for 3D streams. It might be good to kind of fly through the forest there a little bit and then end up in this tower. And in the tower we have either on the piece on the typewriter, maybe that can come out and then type out 3D shenanigans, or there's a blackboard in there. So I'm kind of thinking about those things. See if I can make that happen. I think we can filter this out just by the levels. There we go. Any levels here. Demo, first person, overview, and test. I'll say let's go with demo. Let's see if it's that one. Oh, there we go. This is another cool one here. Preparing shaders. So this is another thing when you open up a new level that you haven't opened up before. This can take some time. So just in case you find that really good looking high-res level, just go and factor that time in. There we go. That's not bad. And also, if you move around and things are a little bit aren't as fast as you want them to be, have a look at this little gear icon and go up here to this gear icon where it says settings, and then head over to the engine scalability settings. This is what you have in some video games where you tell Unreal Engine how high res you want to display something. So usually this is set to epic or cinematic, and if you set this to something a little bit lower, like either high or even medium depending on your computer, then this here will change, and it'll just be a little bit easier to not load in all the super high res details. So it looks like we're still streaming in bits and pieces here. Aha, there we go. Good stuff. Level. And lighting, I'm not sure if the lighting is properly set just yet, but that is something we could adjust. This is our level. This is spline-based water down here. I think I've read somewhere that if you don't enable that, or if you don't enable the plugin, then the level won't load. So this is exciting stuff. You can apparently just go and grab one of these splines, move it around, and then the flow of the water essentially changes. So this is kind of cool. This is what the water plugin does, and I like that he was using it. So you can make extremely easy rivers and all that. It's just all spline based, and then the water just follows that. Super exciting stuff. See if we can make it a little bit brighter here. So I haven't looked at this level yet at all. It's really exciting to see that post-processed volume. That could be it. Is there anything on here like exposure? Auto exposure, does that do anything? It doesn't. Compensation? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, baby, make that a bit brighter. Like one might be a bit. Yeah, one might work. Maybe it's too bright. Oh, this is exciting. We can also, if we don't want to see any of these drawings here, press G, then they all go away. Ha! This is great. What a beauty indeed. And what a huge environment as well. I mean, this is vast. This is just vast. You can just... This is essentially the game. All you need to provide now is a character and some logic and add some puzzles in here. It feels almost like it's open world. I don't know if it has world streaming enabled, if that is even necessary here. But it's big, isn't it? It's huge. Probably not supposed to go all the way down here. And I think, Sage, you said this earlier, Unreal Engine is a little bit more expensive, so the assets are a little pricey, some of them are. But if you think about it, this was $55, and you essentially get a whole game. And you also have the interactive distribution rights for this, so you can now literally go and pop this on Steam and say, there we go, that's $20. You sell literally 4 copies and you've made your money back. So it's, you know, it's in that respect, it is expensive, but it's also you get quite a lot for your money. This is the interior here. How exciting. And this thing, apparently this is original in these towers. I don't really know how it works, but it lets you determine the position of the actual fire. So I think this is a map of your surrounding area. And if you were to look out here, so this is basically your job when you're in here, during the summer. You live up here, you have a little kitchen here, you cook up here, and maybe you go for walks every once in a while, but you mainly spend your time here and make sure there's no fires. That's the idea. So you go and look around, and if you do find a fire kind of here, then all you really know is the compass direction. And with this thing, apparently you can go and determine how far it is away, or something like that. Let me make it a little bit brighter here, so we can see what's happening on the inside. There is exposure compensation as well that you can add, so that when you go into a darker room, it goes and adjusts the exposure for you. And this is just straight out of Firewatch. It's very cool. So I'm thinking, since this is kind of, so what I'm attracted to is that you come in from this outside foresty stuff, and then we go up to the tower, and then eventually we end up here, and then it says something like, you know, J plays on here, and that will be the intro sequence, or in 3D shenanigans. Might have to work on the normals here a little bit. Or there's also this here that I was thinking might be nice if we just repurpose this blackboard here for something to end up on, and then we just build a little camera animation that comes through the woods and ends up somehow here. That was my plan. Let me see if I can get automatic exposure compensation going here. Min EV, max EV. I think maybe it's this one here. If I do doodle with that. And then go to max and do something else. Does it work if I go into the dark here? Does it do anything? No, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Compensation curve, compensation metering mode, histogram. See, does that work? With these things turned off, does that do any better? Yeah, it does work a little bit better. Now it compensates with histogram. That works a little bit better. So now we have it lighter. Now when we go outside, things don't overblow. Things on the inside are now dark, but the moment I go back in, it compensates. Ha 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 ha. But let's see if I can map out this little mini animation just as a little test here. Might be nice to come in over the lake somehow, but then also find the path here. So here's a path. It might be nice to find that and follow it somehow. I don't think there's any particle effects in here. Oh yeah, there we go. That's nice. So if we were to start on the other side of the lake, as if we've just arrived. And there's my tower there. So maybe start with a slow, low shot over the water here. And just take in the scenery a little bit, like so, something like this. And kind of float in to here. Keep it low for now. Go on the path, I'm thinking. And then here, maybe we go up so that we see the tower and the funky surrounding areas here. Like this, and then take it nice and slow. I don't know if we wanted to pan around the tower a little bit. Maybe you can come out here, go up somewhat, because it would be nice to feature that, linger on that a little bit, and the mountains, and then eventually just go drive through the door. We don't have to, because we can go through walls and windows. And then somehow end up on this, I'm thinking. So how long do we want to be? Maybe like 20 seconds, perhaps 30 seconds. Let's see if I'll start it really simple from here. Do this pan while we go over there. Okay, let's try this out. So I'll just put it into the top folder here, I think. Can reset filters. all the top folders. So first thing I'll do is I'll create myself, if I'm allowed, turn on allowed. Why not? Oh, because I need to be in content. Gotcha. Maybe I'll make one actual folder here called maybe animations. Yeah, I like it. So here I think I make a level sequence that'll hold my camera animation. So I'll just call it cam 1 perhaps. And that is my sequencer now. With that, I think I'll go and create myself a new camera. Was that not it? Create a new camera and set it as a current camera cut. Yes, like that. Perfect. It's not awesome, but Cinecam 1. And I might also put that into its own little folder, I'm thinking. Just so that I know where my cameras are. Pop that into cameras. There, perfect. So with that, focal length, I don't want that to be 35. I think I might make that something like 18 so that we have a nice wide view. I'm also piloting it, so that's nice. That's very neat. So I can find my first position here. Let's say we're here. Low shot over the water. That might be nice. Components I'm good with, and I'm going to go start with the transform. So first keyframe is here. So then if we stick with 30 frames a second, or we just switch this over to seconds. Let me make that, did I say kind of 20 seconds? Let me make that 20-ish seconds long. Something like that, 20 seconds. See how much we can cram into that. Let's actually make that 30. Make it 30 seconds. There, so that's the duration of my sequence. So in the first 5 seconds, perhaps 5 or 6 seconds, or maybe 10, it doesn't really matter for now. Timing we can always adjust really easily in Unreal Engine. Let's say at 5 seconds, I would like to be kind of, oops, could dive under the water, couldn't I? That's quite nice. Let's say I want to be here. So another keyframe. Dang, what did you do? That's terrible, man. Kind of here. Keyframe, like so. Then we do that. So that's a nice start. That might not be the correct timing, but we'll work that out as we go along. And so my next keyframe is going to be sort of through here. And a little bit up and a little bit around here, following the path maybe. That's my original idea. Then we're here, and that might not look great because we're hitting some trees, and there might be some tweener frames we don't want to deal with right now. But you know, we'll work towards that. So then, coming up to the next keyframe, kind of 20 seconds, I want to be high up already. Oops. High up like so, perhaps. Let's try that. Goody. So then the next keyframe, I want to be kind of here, featuring the tower. And then I might just go directly through the window. I may give myself a little bit more time. Like maybe I'll make that 40 seconds for now. Bear in mind, I don't really know how to do this. This is all just a matter of experimenting with, is this how this works? Let's see. Maybe go straight onto here. This I think we need a little bit more time for once we're inside. And then maybe we'll go and end up, oops, end up here. That's something to begin working with, I'm thinking. And the timing of it is really easy to adjust. So once we're okay with the basic concept, it doesn't actually isn't all that bad, is it? For first pass, this is not bad at all. Whoops. I nearly hit the wood there. And then we're on this. This for a first attempt in literally under a minute setting the keyframes, that isn't bad. Baracus, how's it going? Good to see you. Hey, you're just in time for watching this cinematic masterpiece that I've just created here. While I go and bear in mind the timing isn't quite correct yet. Can I make this full screen? I can. G and no G there. And can we? Ah, no, what a shame. Can't show you this in full screen. But it's good. So timing wise, maybe we need a little bit more time here. So maybe give that 10 seconds while we pan over this. And keep in mind, this is for a holding loop that I'm making. These branches I might be able to avoid by just adjusting a few interim keyframes here. This here, I'm actually happy with. And this is almost okay. We just need to not hit that door frame. So just on that keyframe, we just need to be a little bit further to the right there. Well, great. So if we make that a total of 45 seconds then. Let's go put that over here. So this here was where I wanted a little bit more time. So until here, I need to space that out. So we'll go and grab all these keyframes here, or these keyframe groups rather, and move them over to kind of almost the end there. So now from here to there, we have a little bit more time. And that pan is much slower and moodier. Because, you know, we're like in Alan Wake, we're just discovering the whole scenery. Might even be a bit too slow. So I can just go speed that up a little bit. Yeah, I made it 13 seconds instead of 10. Perfect. Let's make that exactly 10 there. Perfect. That's 10. And our first shot is a little bit nicer. The trees are wafting, which is awesome. So to get rid of hitting all these trees, I think timing wise this is okay. I think I might just go and bring the camera slightly closer to the bottom so that we don't hit the trees. So on here, I'm going to just go and take the rotation, the location, which is Z here, and just bring that down a tad. There. And then while I'm here, also the rotation, I'm thinking I might just go and move the camera up a tad, and that should now just, I don't know if auto keyframing is on. I still haven't quite figured that out. Let's see what that's like. I'm still okay with that. I might just point the camera up a tad more from the beginning. Avoiding the branches, that's nice. Except for that, that's kind of nice. I'm okay. I'm okay living with that. Same with this. This is kind of cool. This is kind of funny. I think here we might actually be a little bit too high. Okay, so this here, I can either add an additional keyframe in, or I can move the keyframe on which we end. Actually, that's okay, isn't it? So let me go and put an additional one in here. So maybe literally at that point. Let me go and make that, which one is that, the Y? Oops, that's a bit much, isn't it? I wonder if there's a way to make that a little bit less fast, this transition here as I move. I'm sure there was a way to to make that control a little bit slower. I just don't remember. General direction is I need to go minus here, so I'll try minus 36,000. That's too much, wasn't it? Oh, it's 36,000. Yeah, that was also not good. Yes, I wish I knew if there was a way to make this just control a tad faster, slower. I mean, like that. That's something we can work with. We're not hitting it quite that hard anymore, but we're still hitting it, so. See if that works. It looks like automatic keyframing was on. Or was it? I can't tell. Keyframe that, man. Better, better. Oh yes, and then this, I think this I want to make a bit slower. So as soon as we're in here, so this whole thing, I just want to space that out a bit more. So from here, make all that a bit slower. Move it back to 45 and extend this a little further there. Whoops. That is not what I meant. That is totally not what I meant. And now we've got more time. I still think this could do with some work here, but hey, we'll work it out as we go along. I think this is nice as a first super fast concept. I'm extremely happy about this. Let me just see if I can quickly render this out as an animation so that we can, that we can watch it in its entirety in full screen, and also show you how relatively fast that is. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to do here, up here in the room. I don't know how much we're going to see it, but I'd like to reveal a little bit more of this room, and as such I'd like to add an emitter for dust. But we'll since we want to play Prey, let me do that next time. Let me just go and render this out. I think with this here, we only have the old movie scene capture. So that's fine, no audio, and 30 frames we can do that. We can use 4K if we wanted to. Why don't we use 4K? Let's do that. And this is the folder. And I think that's all I need to do, isn't it? See if this works. Save selected. So this isn't as good as the other way of rendering it, which is with the render queue. Render queue is a little bit better. It also has more options of how you want to save out your bits and pieces. But for a quick video preview, this is gonna work just fine, I think. Where is it? Video captures. That's the one. Demo AVI. Perfect. I think we've got it. Whew. Okay, great. This is our render now. And you can see the artifacts in the sky. That doesn't look great. It's almost like a helicopter's going down there. This is also now downsampled stuff. You can see assets popping in the background, and some frames are missing. So this is going to be better with the render queue. And there's actually a video I've recorded in which I'll show you how to use this. So all these artifacts, they'll go away if you use the render queue. And I think reflections and shaders, they're going to look marginally better as well. Yeah, timing at the end, we'll work on that. But hey, for something that we've cobbled together in a couple of minutes, it looks like we also have depth of field that I hadn't considered at the end. This looks like the depth of field should be closer here, but all that is animatable. So I'm going to go and have a crack at that. There's also motion blur in here, so that's also quite nice. It's nice, nice effect here. Yeah, so render queue is the way to go and make that all look extremely handsome. Hey, Mr. Jeremy, how's it going? Good to see you. That is what I would always recommend you do. Yeah, never really render as a video. For preview, yes, but if it's something that you wanna do some post-production on, don't use an AVI file as an output unless it's uncompressed. And even then, if you want to retain transparency, don't do that. Or, you know, make sure you find the right codec for that. Always render out as a PNG sequence. Hey, that isn't bad. I really like that. That is nice. 45 minutes from start to finish. I love it. I absolutely love it. Gotta say, this is great.